I am genuinely excited to discuss a topic that is transforming the landscape of quality assurance: generative AI. Generative AI can revolutionize the way QA team operate. Now imagine a world where AI steps into the heart of QA, transforming how we operate. No longer are we bogged down by manual processes, inefficiencies, or endless cycles of testing. Instead, AI is here to revolutionize workflows, sharpen accuracy, and yes, drastically accelerate software delivery. In this fast paced tech world, things change in a blink of eye. Generative AI is at the forefront of these seismic shifts. Embracing it now, that's not just forward thinking, it is a future proofing your career and your team. Let me be clear, this course is not another dry theory heavy session. We are getting practical. We are talking hands on application, real world, roll up our sleeves. I can use this tomorrow kind of knowledge. You will leave here armed with the skills that are ready for action. Let's talk challenges. And believe me, they are growing. Applications are becoming more intricate, more interconnected, and our testing processes, well, they need to keep up or risk of falling behind. Manual testing, as we know, often finds itself struggling to keep the pace, resulting in lengthy test cycles, missed gaps, or critical defects sneaking by. But here, where generative AI comes in, changing the game entirely. Think of it: AI stepping into automatically generate test scripts and scenarios, allowing us to outpace manual method by miles. It is like moving from a horse-drawn carriage to a rocket ship. Picture this for a second: a tool that can study your existing test cases, learn from them, and create brand new ones that span a wider range of scenarios than you ever thought possible. And scaling? Well, with generative AI, scaling becomes nearly effortless. Imagine generating hundreds, even a thousands of test cases with just one click. That is the power, that is the efficiency, and that is the future. Testing every environment, every configuration, every scenario, it is no longer a distant dream, but a tangible, achievable reality. And the payoff? It's massive. By reducing the risk of missed defects and speeding up time to market, generative AI gives you the edge. It ensures not only the quality of your product but also your competitive advantage. So, let's summarize. Generative AI is not just another tool in the QA toolkit. It is a game changer. It transforms how QA teams work, enabling us to meet the rapid demands of modern software development. We are talking about speed, precision, and maximizing the full potential of our teams to deliver a high quality products. Thank you so much for your attention. I can't wait to embark on this exciting journey with all of you today. Together, we are about to unlock the future of QA with generative AI. Thank you once again. Hello everyone, welcome. In this video, we are diving into the fascinating world of generative AI. Let's try to understand what is generative AI. Generative AI is a type of artificial intelligence that can create new content and ideas, including conversations, stories, videos, music, So, in simple terms, it is a type of artificial intelligence that can actually create a new content, whether it's a text, images, sounds, or even videos. Imagine asking a computer to write a story, make a unique image, or compose a tune. That is the creative power of generative AI. So, how generative AI works? Let's break down how it works. Think of a generative AI as a highly skilled learner. During its training, it absorbs a ton of data, things like language patterns or visual styles. It uses all of this to build a kind of mental model what what it is learned. With this model, it doesn't just remember the data, it also understands the structure of that data. You could say it learns a bit like us by picking up on patterns. This is just a feeding lots of example to the AI so it can start seeing common patterns. This process is called as training. The AI creates a model of all those patterns, helping it to generate a original content. This stands as statistical model. I'm sure many of you would have used chat gpt, or basically what you are doing there is once you enter certain prompt you are getting a response. So it is like generative AI. Once it is trained, generative AI creates a content based on the prompts, which are short instructions or examples. A good prompt is a secret to unlocking its creativity. For example, if you ask the AI to write a story about futuristic city, it will use what it is learned to generate a unique story like an original storyteller. We will discuss in deep about prompts in the upcoming sessions. For now, you just understand as prompt as a instruction which you give to AI, and prompt designing is a technique of crafting prompts. It's almost an art form. It's like the better you prompt, the better and more specific the AI response is. So let's try to understand more about little about prompts, how it is working. A basic prompt we'll try to give, and followed by a prompt designed with a certain technique. Just to show you an example, let's see how ChatGPT responds for both of my prompts. So here in ChatGPT, I'm asking for providing a code snippet. I'm generically asking, and it asks me like what kind of snippet you are looking for. Is this a Python, JavaScript, HTML, or any other one? I will give it a JavaScript, and it has given me certain data. It is generating the data. Now, what if I use the prompt design techniques and ask for a specific data? Let's see how it responds. In the first example, I have given a generic code snippet without any context or any specific functionality. Now what I will do, I will ask a GPT to write a Python function. Let's see. So in this context, I have asked the chat GPT to write a Python function that takes a list of integers and returns a list of those integers squared. So this is the response. So in the both the responses, you can See the difference exactly. In the basic prompt, it produced something vague or unrelated, such as random piece of code. But in the second example, a well crafted prompt we have given, and the response was it provided us a complete, well structured function demonstrating how detailed prompt can lead to high quality and relevant content. So, moving back with the content, like why generative AI matters. When generative AI generates a content, it doesn't copy and paste from what it is learned. Instead, it predicts what comes next based on the patterns it has identified. Let's say you are creating a virtual assistant. You could prompt the AI to respond to a different questions. Generative AI is more than just an advanced tool. It opens new doors to creativity for content creators, software developers, even a business leaders. It offers a endless potential for innovation. So as you explore this technology, keep in mind that how you interact with it is starting with a good prompt is a key. The better the prompt, the better the output. Whether it's writing, designing, problem solving, or creating art, generative AI is here to expand your creative possibilities. Thank you. Welcome to the future. Today, we are diving into the incredible ways generative AI is transforming various fields, from healthcare to the arts, education, and programming. Let's explore how this groundbreaking technology is reshaping our world. Let's start with healthcare, how we can get benefit from Gen AI in healthcare industry. Generative AI is a game changer in drug discovery. Imagine a powerful tool that can predict how molecules interact and identify potential drug candidates. This means faster development of life saving medications, bringing hope to patients who need it most. And when it comes to the medical image analysis, AI steps in a viral partner. It can analyze X rays and MRIs with astonishing accuracy, detecting diseases like cancer early on. This not only boosts the diagnostic efficiency but also paves the way for earlier treatments and better patient outcomes. And the second use case which we are going to discuss is about creative arts. Let's shift gears to creative arts. Generative AI has the power to create a stunning artwork. Just give it a text prompt and watch as it conjures unique pieces from realistic portraits to abstract masterpieces. It is like having a limitless canvas fueled by imagination. Let's look into the example. And to provide you a demo, here we are using Microsoft Designer. So basically, here we are giving a prompt to check the creativity. And the prompt which I am giving here is illustrate a scene of software engineer coding at a desk surrounded by colorful flowchart algorithm, diagrams on the walls with a coffee cup, and plants adding a cozy atmosphere. I can also enhance this prompt. Let's see how it modifies. Okay. In case any other suggestions, Microsoft Designer will help us and enhance this prompt. Since this prompt is most accurate, in this case, we are not seeing any suggestions. Now, when I click on generate, you will be able to see creativity of generative AI, it will give approximately four outputs, different outputs based on the prompt we have provided. And you can see, so all the things software engineer is coding at a desk and surrounded by colorful flowcharts, algorithm diagrams on the walls with a coffee mug. You can notice minor things also. And in music, AI is composing across genres from classical symphonies to upbeat pop tracks. This opens up a whole new world of artistic expression, allowing musicians to experiment and innovate like never before. And here is a demo website which you can go back and practice composing various different kinds of music, generate various music components using generative AI. You need to create an account followed by input the prompts. And education is another area where generative AI shines. It can generate high quality educational content such as lesson plans, quizzes, and study guides. Imagine the time saved for teachers, allowing them to focus on what really matters, engaging with their students, and nurturing a passion for learning. Let's see this with an example. We'll move back to ChatGPT to explore how generative AI helps us in generating the content for education purpose. Here I am prompting I need to prepare a comprehensive lesson plan just for say high school biology class, and I am focusing on the topic photosynthesis, and I want to include few of the objectives, lessons objective, materials needed, what introductions I need to give, and what activities we can perform. So I am just giving in plain English what is my expectation. Then I'll trigger it. Let's see the response. This is the lesson plan for photosynthesis in high school biology. If you can see, exactly it has provided the lesson plan for me, including lesson objectives, what materials are needed, introduction, discussion topics, and how many hours or minutes I need to explain the particular topic. So also at the end I have asked for short quiz and study guide also it has provided me. So this all happened in a fraction of seconds. That is the power of generative AI. Lastly, let's talk about programming. How generative AI can help you in programming. Like AI is revolutionizing the code generation, helping developers to create code snippets quickly and effectively. No more hours spent on repetitive tasks. AI streamlines the process. It doesn't stop there. AI can explain the complex code, making a programming more accessible for everyone. People with less knowledge can also understand what is happening inside the program. Plus, it suggests the optimization to improve the performance, leading to more cleaner, robust code. It's all about enhancing collaboration and creativity in software development. Let's see with certain example prompts to explore this in detail. Assume you are creating a website. It's a personal portfolio website, and you want to include sections like about me, projects, and contact information. you do not come from technical background. So using generative AI, let's see how we can create this website. So basically what I'm trying to create here in ChatGPT, asking the ChatGPT is provide me a simple code, HTML and CSS template for my personal portfolio website, including sections like about me, projects and contact information. And I have triggered it. In a fraction of second, I have got the code. This is my HTML code and I have CSS code. And let's see by executing this code, the information provided is accurate or not. So for this, I am using CodePen. Here I am going to copy paste HTML code provided by ChatGPT, followed by a CSS code. And here we go. You can see in the bottom exactly it has provided what is the expectation. My portfolio, about me, and three sections are there in it: about me, projects and contact. And as soon as I click on that, it takes me to the particular page. So this is the power of generative AI. Anyone with lesser knowledge, with a plain English, able to generate piece of code required to generate his website. We can elaborate about it in detail in the coming sessions. Also, if you are new to coding and wanted to understand what exactly happening within that particular code, for sample, I am using one of the prompt to understand what this particular Java code will do. Somebody has used it in the program, and as a beginner to Java, you don't know, then I can ask GPT to explain me what this code will do. And you can clearly see it has given what is this for loop is used about, and what is the print in, what is happening within the system.out.println function inside the loop. So this is how generative AI can help you in explaining the code. Also, in case if you want to optimize, suppose say let's take a different example, you are using SQL in your projects and you want to optimize the code. So let's ask ChatGPT with one of the sample, suggest a way to optimize this particular query I'm giving. Basically what I'm doing in the query is I'm just uh, orders created on particular date, I'm filtering it out and I'm asking ChatGPT if it can help me to optimize the code. So you can see it is providing me suggestions like indexing, selective commons, columns, date format, analyze query plan, database configurations, how these can help me to optimize the code. So this is the power of generative AI in education. As you can see, generative AI is not just a tool, it's a catalyst for innovation across multiple domains, from healthcare breakthroughs to artistic wonders, which we have seen just now. Education enhancements can be done, and programming efficiencies, which we just saw, and the possibilities are endless. Join us, we embrace this exciting future together. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Let's explore today what are foundation models. Foundation models are basically large machine learning systems that are trained on wide range of data. They serve as a strong base for many applications, allowing developers to adjust and refine them for specific tasks. Think of them as a versatile tools that easily adapt to different needs. That's the real strength of foundation models. How do they actually function? The secret lies in a concept known as transfer learning. After undergoing extensive training on massive data sets, these models can be fine tuned to perform specific tasks with remarkably little additional data. This efficiency means you can leverage a robust model already equipped with a treasure trove of knowledge, saving both time and resources. Let's explore what are the different types of foundation models available. We have language models. These models excel in understanding and generating a text, powering everything from sophisticated chatbots to automated content creation. We have vision models. They unlock tremendous potential in fields like healthcare, security, and autonomous driving. We have multimodal models. These are for innovative creations, paving the way for imaginative applications such as art and generation. Each type brings its a unique strength to the table, enriching the ever evolving landscape of AI. What about practical applications? Like where exactly we are using these different models? Let me explain you with some of the examples. Language models, they are revolutionizing sectors like customer service, translation, and content generation, transforming how we communicate and share information. We have vision models. They are making a significant impact in industries such as healthcare, enabling early disease detection through advanced imaging techniques and facilitating a security through facial recognition systems. And we have multimodal models. These are inspiring creativity in art and design, merging a visual and textual inputs to create a stunning and unique artworks. The possibilities are vast and varied, showcasing the immense potential of these models across different sectors. In conclusions, foundation models are not merely a fleeting trend, they represent a fundamental component of the AI ecosystem. By understanding their definitions and applications, you are positioning yourself to navigate the exciting future of artificial intelligence. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome to the transformative journey of integrating generative AI or Gen AI into your organization. As you step into this innovative landscape, it is crucial to lay a solid foundations for its responsible and ethical implementation. The potential of generative AI is vast, but are the challenges that accompany with it. By following these guidelines, you can unlock the remarkable capabilities of generative AI while safeguarding against its inherent risks. So, tomorrow, as a QA, I see many videos over social internet that many people are posting these are the better solutions for QA, but people who are working in larger organizations, they will be governed by certain rules before using these tools. So before implementing any solution, it might be very best solution, but I request you to evaluate it is strategic alignment with your organizations. So for that, you need to begin by clearly defining how generative AI aligns with your organization's overreaching vision and strategic objectives. This alignment will ensure that your AI initiative resonate with the broader goals. So robust governance framework is needed. because we need to establish a dedicated governance body to oversee the development, deployment, and ethical usage of Gen AI. Risk assessment and mitigation is needed to conduct comprehensive risk assessments to uncover potential pitfalls. By identifying risk early, you can implement a targeted safeguards that mitigate issues before they rise. And second important guidelines I would like to highlight is data privacy and security. Many organizations work on healthcare or research and development data. Tomorrow, as a QA, you want to prepare some test plans or generate some test data or generate some of the scripts. For that, you will be inputting larger amount of data to these generative AI tools. But this without data privacy and security understanding, this can lead to a lot of risk. Let's try to understand how we can overcome from it by using data minimization techniques, like embrace data minimization principles, ensuring that only essential data is fed to generative AI model. This practice reduces exposure and enhances compliance with the privacy regulations. And we need to protect sensitive information by masking it effectively. Implement stringent security measures, stringent security measures to protect data throughout its entire life cycle, from collection to storage and processing. Schedule a frequent security audits to identify and address vulnerabilities. A proactive approach to security will help fortify your defenses against potential threats. This introduction sets the tone for a thoughtful discussion on the organization considerations necessary for effectively navigating the Gen AI landscape. And in the upcoming sessions, we will start using the Gen AI techniques for QA. Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back. In this lesson, we are diving into the concept of prompts. So, what they are, why they matter, and how you can use them effectively, especially in IT context. So, basically, what exactly is a prompt? A prompt is simply the input or instruction which you give to an AI system to get a useful response. Think of it is just like asking question or giving a command to a really smart assistant. The quality of prompt directly affects the quality of the answer you get in. In IT, this is super important because we often need precise, actionable answers. So, what makes a good prompt? A clarity. Be specific about what you want, set a context, give enough background so that the AI understand your goal. Add constraints or set limits if needed, just like you want to develop something using a specific language, or keep it under 50 lines to get the proper specific answer from the AI system. I strongly believe in explaining with the right examples. Let's get into a difference between a good prompt and bad prompt. Assume you are a developer, you want to develop a basic login page You come back to ChatGPT and ask like this: I need a login form. So why I call this as a bad prompting technique? Because it is very general. It doesn't specify what technologies are being used, what the design should look like, or any specific functionality required, like any validations or features needs to be added. Now I will write a good prompt. Let's see how this behaves. This prompt, if you see, consists of technology, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It is mentioned here. So we have covered fields required like email and password. We also covered validation requirements, email format, and password length. Also, we have included error handling in case of any validation fails, how it should behave. This gives a clear guidance on what the user needs and allows for a precise solution. Now we apply good prompting techniques on software testing concepts and see how we can benefit out of it. Thank you very much for joining the session. Hello everyone, welcome back to the session. Today we discuss why QA needs generative AI. Before we start actually using generative AI in various process of manual testing, automation testing, I want you to clearly know what is the use of generative AI, how QA team can benefit by using generative AI. So we break down this class into three areas mainly: scale, complexity, and speed. By the end of this, you will see why traditional QA methods are struggling to keep up and how generative AI can step in to save the day. So let's go ahead. The first point is about scale. Today's software is not just about simple applications anymore. Think about the apps which you use, which you test, e-commerce platforms with millions of users. Mobile apps are running on hundreds of device types and various cloud system handling insane amount of data. So manual testing, if you go to test such application by your traditional manual testing approach, it is very slow. Even if you automate it to certain extent, you cannot always scale fast enough to cover every user journey or edge case. Let me tell you an example. Imagine you are testing a global banking application. It is present in, say, some hundreds of countries. It is present in various languages, and rules and regulations are there for each specific country. Now you are going to write a manual test cases for that. It could take months. It could take months. QA needs a way to generate tests quickly and at a scale, and that is where generative AI comes in. It can churn out thousands of test cases within a minute. We will actually design certain test cases for the banking application in our next sessions. So I wanted you to give the context like how scaling up can be done much faster way using generative AI. The next important aspect we need to understand of using generative AI in reducing the complexity. Let's talk about this modern software based. like microservices. We are using APIs, front end frameworks, back end databases, third party integrations. It is a big puzzle with millions of pieces. Every update or feature adds more layers. So, what it means to QA? For QA, this means testing is not just about clicking some buttons anymore. It is about understanding how all these moving parts interact. Take a ride sharping app. One change in the payment API could break the driver's interface, the user's map, or even the pricing algorithm. Traditional QA struggles here because it's hard to predict every possible failure point. With generative AI, can analyze more complex requirement, spot patterns, and generate tests that cover those tricky interactions without you having to map it all out manually. And the third most important point is increasing the speed. In today's world, software teams are pushing updates faster than ever, sometimes daily. Thanks to Agile and DevOps, QA cannot afford it to be the bottleneck. But here is the problem: thorough testing takes a lot of time. If you miss a deadline and you risk shipping buggy code, suppose if deadlines are short and if you cut short some testing activities, still you can ship a buggy code. I have seen teams scramble to test hot fixes in hours only to miss a critical defect because they couldn't keep it up. Generative AI changes the game by accelerating this process. Think instant test case generation, synthetic data on demand, and even predicting where bugs might hide. It is like giving a QA a superpower to match the speed of development. So I want to give you the big picture with by scaling testing process, by reducing the complexity and speeding up, these are can be more beneficial for QA team to break its limitations. More users, more code, and less time. This is the trend. It's a perfect storm. Manual testing and even basic automation tools were built for a simpler era. But generative AI, it will help us to solve massive QA challenges by using it effectively. It can scale up with your app, handle complexity of modern systems, and keep up with the lightning fast release cycles. We will show you exactly how to harness generative AI to solve these challenges. And trust me, once you see it in action, you will wonder how you ever tested without it. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Now, in the previous sessions, we have seen why QA needs generative AI in terms of scaling, complexity, and speed. This is the time to get practical. In this model, we are exploring how generative AI can supercharge your QA processes. We will cover five key applications, starting with automating test case generation, creating a synthetic data, predicting bugs, enhancing test coverage, and also optimizing the test scripts which you perform on day-to-day basis in your current project, whichever you're working on. I'll walk you through each one, and we are doing a demo using ChatGPT for our demo. I will also give you exact prompts which you can also try by yourself. Uh, to start with, let's imagine you are testing a simple e-commerce application like an online bookstore to keep things relatable. Are you ready? Okay, let's dive in. Now I'm in the ChatGPT screen. Here we are trying to automate test case generation process using a prompt. This prompt talks about, if you see, it tells to generate test cases. Writing test cases manually takes a lot of time for you, especially for functional, edge, or regressional test cases when you are manually doing it. Generative AI can analyze requirements and split out detailed test cases in seconds. For our bookstore app, let's say we need test cases for the checkout process. So the prompt I am using here is, I am a QA engineer. I am giving context to the ChatGPT saying that I am a QA engineer and I'm working on e-commerce bookstore app. Currently, I'm trying to generate 5 test cases. If you want, you can generate 50 test cases also. You can alter this prompt later. We are doing it for checkout process. If you see, I'm also giving additional conditions like include preconditions, steps, and expected results. Focus on functional testing. Examples, you can have payment, cart validations, whatever you feel comfortable. And now let's see how ChatGPT will help me to generate test cases within a fraction of seconds. I just click hit enter here. ChatGPT is analyzing your requirements. And here we go. We have test cases ready. If you can see, ChatGPT has generated several test cases. ChatGPT has generated 5 test cases which we have requested for, and you can see the formatting also. We have asked for preconditions, yes, it is there. Test steps, yes, uh, and expected results are also present since we have asked for 5 test cases. You can see how exactly it has generated based on the prompts we have provided. It took less than 30 seconds for ChatGPT to generate this kind of test cases. So assume when you are working on complex requirement, how we can get benefited by this rather than we write test manual test step. It is a time consuming process, and you can also see the quality of test cases it has generated. The first, it talks about validating cart items before checkout, then validating shipping information when entry, and also payment method validation. This is something very important. Preconditions also it has given like user should be in a login, you should be logged in and he should be in a checkout page. The user should have a valid credit and debit card to test it. It has also given the test steps. On the checkpoint page, navigate to the payment section. It's giving each step manually, like how you are performing exactly. It has written like that. So also it has given the 4 test cases for applying a discount code during the checkout process. Order confirmation and receipt generation is also there. It has split into 3 things as we have presented in the prompt: precondition, test steps, and expected results. So assume when you have the business requirement with you, rather than traditional manual writing process, if we have generative AI in place, how faster you can design the test cases. Okay. Uh, Assume one more scenario, like now we have 5 test cases in place which are written in the chat GPT, but you want this to copy pasted into the tabular format in the Excel or somewhere, because usually to upload in Jira, people will follow that process. So what I just added is give it in 3 columns, just a simple plain English text I have given, and you can see exactly it has given in the Excel format, and it has test case, test steps, and expected results. This is how we can generate n number of test cases using ChatGPT within a fraction of seconds. This is the benefit of generative AI in increasing the speed and reducing the complexity. In the next topics, we explore few more possibilities with a different set of prompts. You can also go back and practice using the prompt I have provided. You can alter that and also see the behavior. It will help you to do more hands-on. Here you can just replace e-commerce bookstore app with whatever the application you are trying. You can give a bit context to it and do a hands-on. It will be very beneficial. Thank you so much for joining. Hello all, welcome back to the session. In the previous sessions, we come to know how to generate manual test cases and how to generate the test data. One more important aspect of QA is to identify the defects in the existing applications which is deployed in our environment. So here generative AI plays the major role in predicting the bugs. Basically, generative AI can analyze our requirements or past defects to flag the potential issues. Since we are taking the example of bookstore, let's predict bugs in a new discount feature which is implemented. Let's move on to ChatGPT for the prompt. Okay, here I'm ready with my prompt. So basically, what we discussed is we are trying to identify potential defects in the newly implemented feature in our bookstore app. This is related with discount feature. So the prompt I'm giving here is I am a QA engineer. For our bookstore app, we are adding 10% off on 2 plus books. The person who is buying more than 2 books will be getting 10% off as a discount feature. I am asking ChatGPT to identify 3 potential bugs that could occur, and I want ChatGPT to give the explanation about it. I will be giving this prompt to you so that you can also do the hands-on with a different set of test data for your actual requirement. Now let's see and analyze the output together. Within a fraction of second, ChatGPT is started and analyzed the requirement, and it has provided the possible defects. The first thing it is talking about discount not applied for 2 plus books in the cart. So the bug might be the discount might not be triggered when exactly 2 or more books are added to the cart. This falls under the negative testing. So the explanation it is giving is this could happen if the app's logic fails to correctly recognize when the user has added 2 or more books, or if the discount condition is incorrectly implemented. He is also explaining this error can occur due to misplace of the character in the code. If this occurs, users may be charged the full price even though they should receive the discount. The second possible defect it has identified is incorrect discount calculation. Sometimes what happens, the discount might be applied incorrectly, such as applying it to only one book or not applying it at all. The system could mistakenly apply the 10% discount only to the books, one of the books rather than all of the books present in the cart. This could happen if the discount is applied on per book basis instead of being calculated on the total price of the selected books. This is the ChatGPT's explanation for incorrect discount calculation. And the third defect it has raised about discount applied multiple times. The possibility is there that discount must be applied to the multiple time for the single user if this logic is not handled properly in the edge cases, such as if the user removes and re-adds the book to the cart, it can be applied multiple times. So using this prompt, we have identified three potential bugs within a fraction of seconds, and definitely generative AI can be game changer in the large applications when we have shorter deadline to deliver our applications for testing. We can use such prompts, we can enhance it based on our requirements, and we can identify more and more areas which we manual testers will take a lot of time to explore. With the help of ChatGPT, we can achieve this within a fraction of seconds. Thank you all for joining. Hello everyone, welcome back. Now let's discuss about how can we generate synthetic test data using generative AI. It's a realistic data like usernames or order details. It is hard to create manually, especially for edge cases. Generative AI can generate it on demand. Previously, we discussed about our bookstore app. Now, let's create fake customer data for testing. So, here we go. We are in the ChatGPT screen with the prompt. This prompts talk about generate a list of 5 synthetic customer profiles for testing an e-commerce bookstore app. We are including name, email, shipping address, and quirky book preference. Make them diverse and realistic. This is the ChatGPT prompt we are giving, and now let's see what response we will get it for generating the test data from ChatGPT. You can see in a fraction of second, ChatGPT has started generating the test data, 5 synthetic customer profiles for our bookstore app. It has given name, email is there, shipping address, and book preference is there. Since in the prompt we have used asked the ChatGPT prompt to make them diverse and realistic, it has given a various book preference options with a different set of test data. Here we can see how simple it is. These profiles offer a range of variety of test data for our testing. It can reduce a lot of time if it is effectively used in the work environment. Thank you all. Hello all. Let's explore how we can enhance test case coverage or test coverage using generative AI. Using generative AI, we can explore the scenarios which we might miss, like rare user flows. Let's take again go back to the example of bookstore, and let's try to generate tests for the search feature which is implemented. For that, I will shift to my ChatGPT screen, and here you can see we are giving a prompt to generate 5 test scenarios to improve coverage on the search feature of bookstore app. The feature here is user is coming back, logging into the application, and he's searching for particular book. For this, we are trying to improve the test coverage. So we are requesting ChatGPT to include common and uncommon use cases. Examples: when users are searching for a particular book, they might do a typo error. There might be a special character. We are setting up some examples like this, and now let's see what output we get from ChatGPT. Here we can see the first test case coverage it has given to us is valid book title search. In this case, users search for exact text with a valid title. He is inputting Harry Potter, the book name, and he is expecting the output that it should display the correct book. Next thing, we are trying to do a partial or incomplete book title search. Rather than giving a full name in the input, you can observe he is presenting Harry Potter, and we are expecting the outcome. The app should display a list of books with Harry Potter in the title. It is kind of regular expression. All the matches it should come. So he has given an example of this. And search with special characters or typo errors. If you can see in the input, the user is passing rather than a, he is passing at, and in the Harry Potter he is passing 0 here. Similarly, he has done several typo mistakes with the special characters, but still we are expected the outcome is the app should handle the search gracefully and either correct the typos or suggest the relevant results. In some cases, there are chances of typo corrections get misinterpreted, and it should show irrelevant result to or confusing result to the end user. So it is giving us one more thing like search with no results. If there is a book we are searching and it is not present in the store, then it should give a appropriate error message. And some books we are trying to search in the fifth scenario, we are trying to search with numeric input or ISBN. In this case also, it should display the correct book. If it is in our requirement, user can search the records based on ISBN, means it should provide the proper book details. So this is how we can increase the test coverage using Gen AI, and this process is very much faster compared to the traditionally testing manual testing process. Like you will be thinking of a lot of scenarios, and you will be doing permutations and combinations. Now give that I will be giving something like this: give the data in 3 columns so that uh, it is clear. Now you can see this is proper test case, what input is passing, what is the expected output. We can just refer to these combinations and we can try it out within our application. It will save a lot of efforts, and the test case coverage is also more if you are appropriately using generative AI in our project. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hello all. Let's try to understand how combining Selenium with generative AI can boost up our automation process. Many of you might be beginner to automation or having intermediate knowledge working on some of the Selenium frameworks like TestNG, BDD. Now, with respect to the Selenium context, we will try to understand how it will boost integrating generating AI will boost our productivity. While Selenium excels at executing predefined tasks, it is limited. It is limited by what you manually code into it. Correct? You have to write the test data, you have to assign the locators, you have to write the logic. When generative AI steps in, it makes the automation smarter, more dynamic, and less labor intensive. Let me tell you some example like dynamic test data generation. Usually, sometimes you might want to hard code the test data as a username or password. This gets old too fast. But generative AI can create realistic, unique inputs like names, email, addresses on the fly, saving the time and improving the test coverage. Similarly, we have smarter test case design. Writing the test cases manually is tedious. Generative AI can suggest scenarios based on the app's behavior or past failures, ensuring you catch edge cases you might miss. Also, we have failure analysis and debugging. When a Selenium test fails, example like element not found, you might usually in the traditional way you try to search for that particular exception and try to provide the fix. But when generative AI steps in, it analyzes that particular error. It analyzes the messages, logs, or even screenshots and suggests the fixes like adding a weight or updating a locator. It also helps us in efficiency and scalability. Assuming automatic automating repetitive tasks with Selenium is great, but pairing it with AI reduces a maintenance overhead. For example, AI could auto detect, generate updated test scripts when a web page structure changes. Real world relevance. Let me tell you with an example like how this works. Many companies are increasingly adopting AI driven testing to stay competitive. Learning this combo gives you a cutting edge skill that stands out in the QA automation field. I will explain you with an example scenario. Imagine you are testing a login page. Simple Selenium can click on the login button and enter the credentials. But what if the form rejects the common passwords? Generative AI could generate a complex, unique passwords that meet the site's rules. Example, including with a special character not allowing the alternates, and even adapt them if the test fails due to a new requirements. Post test, if something breaks with a particular exception, such as no element find exception, AI could analyze the failure and recommend a solution, all seamlessly integrated into your workflow. So, why it is matters to any QA, why integrating generative AI is very much important for the today's IT industry is by mastering Selenium and generative AI together, you are not just automating, you are innovating. This course will teach you how to harness these tools to build smarter, more efficient test suites, making you stand out a tester or developer in today's landscape. Thank you all for joining this session. Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. In this session, we will majorly focus on how using generative AI, Selenium automation testing can be done much faster, much effective way. I will be giving you different kinds of prompt examples which we use in real time to reduce lot of manual efforts. To start with, in this PPT, there are three different kinds of prompt structure we are going to use. One is command based, another one is question based, and another one is role based. Using this technique, we will try to implement actual Selenium scripts in our project. So to start with, I am using ChatGPT for implementing these things. The first prompt I'm talking about is command based prompts. So basically, command based, the name suggests we are commanding the system to perform the particular action. So how does this work? I will take you to the ChatGPT screen. So here is the ChatGPT screen, and let me copy a prompt which we call it as command based prompt. What this will do is we are writing a Selenium based code. We are telling Selenium script to open Chrome browser and navigate it to particular URL. That here in this it is https example.com. It's very simple, plain example I'm giving. I'm just instructing a system to provide me a script, Selenium script, for opening a particular URL. Later you can replace with your actual URL. And let's see, manually, when you started writing the automation script, you would have wrote step by step. Now we'll see ChatGPT can give this entire code in a fraction of second. So also it is guiding us. If you see, uh, it is asking us to install the necessary libraries, and it is giving me exact step, that is using bash command pip install selenium. How am I going to do? Then it is giving a proper python script. If you see, what it is doing in this automation script is it is creating a driver instance, webdriver.chrome. Then it is getting the URL what I'm passing in this, and it is waiting for a 5 seconds. Then it is ending the quitting the driver. Also it is giving us each method what it is doing. If you can see, it is initializing the Chrome browser, opening the specified browser. Then I keep the browser open for 5 seconds till you can see the page, and we can also adjust the time according to our application. Sometimes your application might be taking more time. In that case, we can reduce this or increase this wait time. This is a very basic command prompt I have given. So the second thing what we are going to focus more is about our next prompt. Let me take you back to the PowerPoint screen. It talks about question based prompts. So basically, a web page, if you see, a web page consists of lot of buttons, links, drop downs, checkboxes. N number of elements are there. And when you are a beginner to Selenium, or when you have the intermediate knowledge, you might want to understand how I click on the particular drop down, or how do I locate this in Selenium. So to locate within a element within a Selenium, there are various methods are there. This is provided by WebDriver APIs such as find element, and there are common locators are there. So now what we are going to do is we are trying to find a button which is present in the screen, and we are trying to find that elements. So I will again take you through the ChatGPT screen where we will try to see how the question based prompts work. So now here I'm telling how do I locate an element within Selenium. Okay, I'm giving a very basic prompt here. It might be any kind of element. Here you can replace with a particular thing, either a drop down, checkbox, link, anything you can replace it. For now I am giving for star, like it is like all. So Selenium is giving us an explanation. ChatGPT is giving us the explanation that we can import it necessary models first. It is initializing the web browser, and if you see, it is telling us the locating element strategy. So I can identify any element by ID, by name, by class name, by XPath, by CSS selector, by link text. Hope if you are from the basic Selenium background knowledge, if you have, we can identify any element with uh, various ways. Like now I'm going to inspect this page only, and if you, so now I want to inspect this login button. Okay, so here if you see this login button, I can identify with various things. Either I can identify this with ID, or I can identify this with class name. Similarly, various ways I can identify this. So if I just hover on this, it's giving me the contacts, name, role, key based. So this is the way we identify any element in Selenium. Now it looks very basic, but this is very important concept, because at the end of the day, in any project, you are going to deal with various kinds of objects. That time you can straightforwardly ask ChatGPT that how do I perform the particular action. So moving back to the PowerPoint presentation, first we asked ChatGPT for command based prompts. Like we are asking just commanding, write this for me like that. Then we we are doing question based prompts, that I am trying to search something. How do I locate? How do I perform this action? Then one of the important concept I want to take you through is role based prompts. So what is role based prompts? Here we are suggesting ChatGPT to take a particular role and suggest. So it is just simple as that. I am telling ChatGPT to act as a Selenium expert and explain how do I handle a drop down menu in a, suppose say you are writing the script with Python script. So you want the explanation with the Python script. Oh, let's see how ChatGPT provides me the exact code to handle a drop down with a Python script. Moving back to ChatGPT screen. Yes, here we are. Then I'll be giving a command prompt, act as a Selenium expert and explain how do you handle a drop down menu in Python script. Okay, I just give enter. You can see again it is giving basic install Selenium import required models like that. It's asking us to set up the web driver, locate the drop down element. So this is a Python code where we are identifying a drop driver dot find element by drop down ID. It can be any drop down ID. Here he is suggesting change the locator as needed. Here in the previous script we asked by ID, by name, by XPath, by CSS. Anything you give, we will get the right output. Only thing we need to pass the proper element ID here in this case. So also it is suggesting us, if I take you through this, first we identified with the ID, next interact with the dropdown using select class. So class name method, visible text, open option text. Here I am passing just the text. In your project, when you want to locate any element, you just replace this text, copy this code and replace this text. Here I am doing this with Python. You need to make a note of that. In case if you are using Java, the formatting will be different. Similarly, we can select by a value, and hope you are able to see whichever highlighted in green. It is clearly suggesting replace the option value with the value attribute. wait for drop down to load. Sometimes what happens is, uh, say, we have country drop down followed by a state drop down. I am selecting country as India, then particular drop down values will change. If I select US, again it will change. In such cases, you want wait for particular drop down to get loaded to your system. So in such cases, there is one command like driver dot 10 seconds wait until we are waiting until this drop down is loaded. Then deselect option is there. At last we have closing the browser. So he has given the complete example for all the elements here. Wait until, find element by, selecting the drop down value, and these are the summary of selected class methods. By just going through this, we can see what exactly it is performing. Select by visible text, it is selecting by the visible text whatever value you are passing. We are selecting by index, selecting by value. Deselect also option is there. Why I am suggesting all these possible methods is, when you are working in the real time web based application, your elements might not be located using only one method. You might want to interact with so many at one shot. In such cases, you can utilize this ChatGPT prompts to exactly get the code and just replace your value with that. So it is as simple as that. Just take the code, replace with your value, and it works. So that's it for today. So to brief, we have discussed about three different kinds of prompts. Command based prompts, we are just asking prompt or ChatGPT to do perform using a prompt to ChatGPT saying that write a Selenium script for me for performing this operation. Then we asked the questions: how do I select a drop down? How do I locate the element? How do I navigate to this particular screen? How do I validate the broken links? So question based prompts we have raised. Then we have asked a role based prompt like act as a Selenium expert. Then it thinks as a Selenium expert and it will provide us proper step by step values, attributes to select in the application. Like we have seen visible text, visible value, XPath, CSS, in whatever the way we can select the element, it is giving us the code. So thank you all for joining. We will continue in detail the different kinds of prompts which can use in Selenium and progress the automation testing in much faster way. Thank you all. Hello everyone, welcome back to the session. In the previous sessions, we just discussed a general way of writing prompts for Selenium without adding any context. Context in the sense, I'm not telling which browser I have to use. I am not telling which language to use, either it's a Java, Python, or whatever is the language you are using. And I'm not giving enough scenarios to improve the prompt outcomes. So how we wrote previously is just like, suppose I am testing a web page. So previously we just gave some vague prompts. Vague prompts in the sense, I'm just telling Selenium, usually generally people write like this, write a Selenium script to test a web page. Here I'm not setting any context. Okay. Because of that, there is a high chances of getting the wrong output. So here by default it has assumed Chrome browser and it is giving me in the particular format. Certain code is generated. But when you work in real-time projects, setting the context is very, very important, because without that, the script outcome which you are getting from ChatGPT is of no use to you. Previously, just now I demoed you for a vague script. Now let's set a context and see how this particular prompt can be enhanced. I have changed this ChatGPT prompt. If you can see here, I have provided the context for this prompt, like write a Python script using Selenium WebDriver. Which browser I'm using? Launch Chrome browser. Then what I'm telling? I'm telling the one common URL. Then I want to enter particular username and particular password. Then I want to click on login button. We'll be giving this prompt, and later you can enhance it to the your requirement. You can just replace with a particular URL which you want to automate, then followed by the username and passwords. Now, advantage of providing the context. Let's see how effective script we get from generating this. Okay, if you can see, it has given me a Python code which launches the Chrome browser. First, it is setting up the Chrome drivers. Then it is navigating to the particular login page, the URL which I passed in the application. Then it finds the username field and enter to Smith is the value. So user how it is finding, using the find element by ID, and it is passing the username. Then what it is doing, it is sending keys as to Smith, the value which you passed from the input. Similarly, it is identifying the element by password. Then it is sending the password field as super secret password, like that. Then it is clicking on finding the login button using the CSS selector. Then it has clicked on this. So how simple is this? Just by providing the proper context to the chat GPT, we can get more and more accurate result. These all operations it has performed. It is did the set browser, then navigated to URL, then it find the elements, then it has passed the values, then it is submitted the login. So writing the prompts with the context, it will really helps you to improve and get the proper automation code, and it will reduce lot of efforts of writing the code on your own. It provides more accurate code. Now I will explain you one more scenario where we specify a browser type, language, and a test scenario. So what exactly we are going to do here is we are suggesting the ChatGPT to perform these actions. We are asking ChatGPT to write a Python script using Selenium WebDriver. Here I am launching Firefox and I am navigating to the particular URL. In some cases, I need to wait for 3 seconds. In real time also it is same. And check if the page title contains example. So taking Flipkart as an example, what we are doing, we are launching a Flipkart URL and say in a fraction of seconds it launches, and then we are checking the title page contain Flipkart website. So it's as simple as that. This prompt helps us to open the URL in the Firefox, then validating the title. Here you can see navigate to particular URL, waiting for 3 seconds, then getting the page title, get the page title, then page title you have passed example. So page title, if it matches, if example it finds in the page title, it is like successful launch, or else it is a failure. So this is the advantage of setting the context to any chat GPT so that we get the proper output. Now we understood how to set the context. There are chances that handling AI misinterpretations is very important. Why? Because if you don't know how to debug a bad outputs and refine the prompt iteratively, it can lead to a lot of rework once you take the code from here. So for this, I will take you through an example in ChatGPT screen. Here, what I'm doing is I'm just writing a Selenium script to click on the particular button. Okay, it is setting the context. Then it is telling opening the website. Then it is finding the element. Then it is clicking on that button. This is simple, very simple one prompt I have given. But here after launching only, it is trying to click on particular button. Sometimes if this button is not present in this page, then script will fail. Correct? Yeah, misinterpretation can happen because we don't know whether that item is present in that screen and it is in a clickable state. Sometimes button might be present, but it is disabled. To overcome from such situations, I have provided the context to this prompt. If you can see, here I'm saying write a Python script using Selenium WebDriver to launch the Chrome. Then I'm navigating to the particular URL and clicking on add element button using what? XPath. Explain why the button was not clickable in the first script. So I'll remove this. Okay. In the first script, why I just wanted to explain you why it is didn't click. Okay. Because that was in a disabled state in the first screen. But now I am clearly setting up the instructions here and you can see it has navigated to this URL. It has first created the Chrome instance, then using driver.get method, it is navigated to that screen. Then it has clicked on, it has find that element, then it has clicked on that. So setting up the context is very important. This will help you to get the better output from ChatGPT. Also, refining the scripts prompts are very important. So how do you refine? I will take you to some sample prompts why refining is very important for beginners. So first I'm asking write a script to login. Generally we write like this when we are beginners. It give generic script with no details. Then I set my prompt to, I will change this. Now iterative prompt. What you do, you enhance it. You wanted a script in Python, then log into a website you are doing. So you clicked here. It has given one some code. Okay. Now again, how you refine your prompt is, so first was just launching a web page. Next was launching with the URL. Here I'm setting a context with what kind of username, what is the password, what is the URL, exact details I am mentioning. So this is called as refining the prompts. You always need to understand. First you craft something. When you are building something, just say you want to click on some web page or some button, then write it down like that. Then start iterating your prompt step by step, step by step. So this will give the strong output. Thank you all for joining. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the session. In the previous session, we have understood how to generate Selenium script for different contexts we have set. We did the direct operations, then we set a context, then we have verified the output provided by the Selenium. Now, in this session, one more important thing is you can generate a number of code using ChatGPT. Now you are aware, but do you know how to debug the real-time scenarios which you get in your projects? Just some example like how you troubleshoot error or exception like no such element exception. You have copy pasted the code provided by ChatGPT, then it throws the error no such element exceptions. Most of the Selenium testers will face this kind of exceptions when elements cannot be found. So in this lecture, we stood we see how to leverage ChatGPT to diagnose such issues and get actionable fixes. So I will be taking you through the particular example of no such element and how do I fix it. Let's assume the context. You are working in a project, you have designed something and it suggests that no such element exception is triggering when you are running the automation scripts. In that case, how we are going to handle this, that is the context. Okay, let's go back to ChatGPT screen. Hope it's visible. Then I am asking ChatGPT for explanation of why Selenium throws no such elements exception, and I am asking to suggest three fixes for a Python script. Here I am setting a context which you found trying to click on a button. You are giving the URL that is not found. Now let's see how Selenium debugs this scenario. Incorrect locator. Sometimes locators you might be using IDs which dynamically changes, so it is guessing it might be because of incorrect locator you are using. It might be XPath or ID. Then element not yet loaded. This is the case, right? Like previously we discussed example of country and the state. You selected the country, but this state dropdown is not yet loaded. Then dynamic content, which is something like if the page content is dynamic, they are using JavaScript backend, button might not be present when you are interacting with this. So it is telling possible reasons for no such element exception. So what are the three fixes it is providing is providing the correct locator. So in the Python script, it is replaced XPath with the particular element here. Then what it is suggesting is use the explicit wait before I click on the perform the particular operation. So what happened, driver.get here, I have launched my URL, then I am waiting for the button to be clickable. I am waiting for 10 seconds, then wait until I am using, until this element will become clickable. Then I am clicking on the element. This is more and more real-time scenarios. Debugging is very important concepts because without knowing debugging concept, you cannot build a proper automation in any project. So the third point it talks about checking for the dynamic elements. Dynamic elements, as we discussed, it is dynamically changing after certain this thing operation. So here he is using webdriver.wait. I'm getting the URL, then I'm triggering the action that adds a button. Then I'm going to perform the click operation. I'm waiting till button get visible, then I'm clicking on this. So with this, we come to know strategies or prompts which helps us to debug the Selenium code which you have wrote. Based on the error messages exceptions it is throwing, we can again take that code back to ChatGPT and debug and ask for the particular fixes. Thank you so much. Now, as we are moving to advanced concept, optimizing our test scripts is very important. Why? Because just assume you are working on a web application automation using Selenium. This approach, that web application is present across the globes, used by simultaneously by various country, and it has various languages in it. In such cases, maintaining the test scripts will become a very challenging situation, because you might be having, when you are having less number of automation scripts, it is easy to maintain. But when it crosses certain number, 500,000, that time optimizing the test scripts is very important. Raw Selenium scripts often repeat locators action, so it makes hard them to maintain. In this lecture, we see the prompts ChatGPT to refactor scripts for efficiency, that is introducing POM page object model as a clean modular approach. This optimization saves time and improves the scalability in real-time projects. So just to example, like redundant scripts, I will take you to the Python code. So what we will see in real time how using ChatGPT we can optimize the scripts. Okay, now we are in ChatGPT screen. So what I'm suggesting is refactor this Selenium script using the page object model which I have wrote previously. So this is like we have wrote a Python script previously. This is about launching the driver Chrome browser, entering the username password, then selecting submitting the details. I clicked on this. Okay. So if you see, it has a lot of elements in it. Now it has created a proper login page class, and you see how neatly it has organized our code which fits into page object model. So all the elements are one shot: username, password, login button, flash page, and anything, any value. If you change here, this will reflect across the framework. So you no need to individually change every element. Okay. So this is the login page. Then it has given the test script, optimized test scripts. So if you can see, enter username, enter password, directly it is fetching from the browser. So the explanation what it has given is open method opens the login page, that we are aware. Username, password methods it has created to enter the username and password field, login button, then flashing the message. So now the test script, this just interacts with the login page, get that output and organizes this. So using this ways, we can effectively optimize our test scripts, which will be easy to maintain in the long term projects. And one more important concept we are going to discuss now is reducing the redundancy. Why it is important? Usually raw Selenium scripts often repeat locators and actions. making them hard to maintain. In this upcoming example, we'll see how to prompt ChatGPT to refactor the scripts for efficiency, introducing the POM model as a clean and modular approach, which we have seen. So, I will be showing you one prompt which you can use in your project to refactor the code. And we'll see how this find element method is getting called here. I will take you back to ChatGPT screen, and here I am giving a proper prompt. I am suggesting ChatGPT to refactor the Selenium script to use the page object model in Python. The script launches Chrome, then navigates to particular URL, enter the username and password, clicks on the login button, then the prints success and message and adds the comments. So friends, we have discussed about direct prompting where user will ask the question, then we understood the context by providing the context. Then we have seen using artificial intelligence how I can debug my Selenium code. Now we are seeing how to you know refactor my code, how to increase the efficiency using my code to optimize the test scripts. So this is the example prompt which I have given, and what it is doing is it has created the page object model login page. Then it has separated the element for username, password fields, and button. Then it has defined the scripts. Using this method, it has optimized the script also and reduced the redundant way of writing a code which any beginner in the Selenium will do. Thank you all for joining.